Right.
Like there's someone behind them with a gun or something. It's just bizarre.
Did you see Slotkin with
Just
unreal.
insane. And also, if you look at the polling now, very recently, you know, something like 80 or 90% of Democrats are opposed to the war.
Yep.
That's you would be hard pressed to find anything that there's that much agreement on.
I think the polling's wrong. I think it's probably 99% of them.
Totally.
You know?
They shouldn't be in charge of things anymore. People should get to what they want, and they're increasingly realizing. I know, you know, just because this guy has all these fancy degrees and you know they've lived in Beltway, doesn't. I actually know better than him, and that's really good, I think.
What about though when those people, whether it be a Mamdani, a Trump, whoever it is, that the people vote in because they're raging against the system, go in and become the system? Because I mean, let's just call it what it is. We had a 2-week period there where Trump bombed Iran to risk another war happening, covered up the Epstein files, funded Ukraine with the freshest round of funding they had in a year, and upped the national debt by $3 to $5 trillion over the next 10 years. These are all directly against things he ran on.
Totally.
And he's the outsider.
Well, that's what I'm saying about Epstein. I think it's symptomatic of everything that you just mentioned, and that this is what happens to be here now, and it's something that we can talk about. But I think the polling is pretty clear that on all those questions, there's a lot of dissension within the Trump's own base and within the country at large. What happens when they become the establishment? I mean, I think Trump always was the establishment, at least since he was president, at least. I mean, how can a former president not be the establishment in some sense? You know, there's different factions.
Oh, you're saying this time around.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
But like you were saying before, they did him a real favor by turning him into public enemy number one with this whole, you know, all the lawfare that was done. And so they gave him this outsider status that I don't think was really true and really deserved. But you know, the consequence of all that was him enjoying that reputation. And now the bill has come to pay due and deliver on this, you know, outsider thing that image that he's cultivated. And to the extent that he's failed at it, people are really angry, and they should be. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen? It almost feels like I get a very strong kind of like, you mentioned Occupy Wall Street before. It feels like the moment before that, and I'm wondering what it's going to be. And I feel like we keep going through, you know, the public response to Luigi Mangione, Mamdani, Epstein. You're seeing people repeatedly say, you know, fuck you. I'm not listening to the people in Washington, even the ones on my side. I want something different. And so it keeps bubbling up. And the question is, what will that culminate in? Because I think we haven't quite seen the climax yet.
I agree with you 100%. I think there is something, you know, if you and I could predict it perfectly, I'm sure neither of us would be sitting here right now. But there are some good candidates, and one that I look at that if you just look at the polling numbers, it's like, this is really interesting, is what's going on in the Gaza war right now. Because if you look at the people, forget Congress, you look at the people, this is, you want to talk about that Bloods and Crips thing again, this is something the left and right is very united on. Like, what we're seeing here appears to be a form of genocide at this point. There's starvation going on. Yes, there is certainly propaganda from Hamas. You have to build that in, but like not all of it. And we'll see our politicians who are paid by AIPAC and other organizations that are friendly to Israel come up and say the same exact lines. Tweet that we can pull up the screenshots of them all tweeting the same exact thing.
They look like, when they get asked a question about it, they look like they're in a hostage video.
Right.
Like there's someone behind them with a gun or something. It's just bizarre.
Did you see Slotkin with
just
unreal.
Insane. And also, if you look at the polling now, very recently, you know, something like 80 or 90% of Democrats are opposed to the war.
Yep.
That's you would be hard pressed to find anything that there's that much agreement on.
I think the polling's wrong. I think it's probably 99% of them.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. And so you see the entirety of the party, like voters, which is supposed to be the point of political parties, is responding to what people want. And then the actual party in Congress, the exact opposite of that. 90% of the party supports or isn't opposed to the war in any meaningful sense. And it's just like, that cannot persist, you know, where there's a complete consensus on something on the part of the country, and then leadership is the reverse.
And they're elected to support what their constituents want.
Right.
And then
they're
do the
representatives.
opposite.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Who was that guy? I don't know his name, but it was in Wisconsin, I think. There was a representative who was doing like his local meeting or whatever, I guess, while they're on what's it called, like recess or whatever. what was this guy's name? Seal or Seelig or something like that. He's from your state.
I don't know.
Damn it.
What do you think?
Can we go to Twitter, Joe? Wisconsin rep Israel, and there's like a 1:30 video of this guy just getting murked at his yeah, that's it. Pull that bad boy up. He's just getting killed at his local meeting, and this guy's been funded to the tune of $131,000 by AIPAC, and he just goes right to listen, Israel has a right to defend itself, and it's like, bro.
Oh, yeah. The people that are like booing?
Yeah, watch this. This is great. This is what I mean about the disconnect you're talking about. This is this in video form.
Have you addressed the question that was shouted about the starving children in Gaza? Israel has a right to defend itself.
He doesn't believe a word he says. Look at his body language.
You believe in genocide?
I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed in how you represent us.
I don't think you're the right fit for us anymore. You just don't relate to most of us anymore, and you gotta know when to step down. I think it's time.
I mean, that was like, you see it, and there's this thing, you talked about it, like a hostage video. There is this look of admitted defeat,
pure terror, yeah,
on their face before they deliver the preconceived robotic line they've been told to deliver every time, whatever it is, whatever the greatest hits are. Israel has a right to defend itself. Listen, we got to think about this two-state solution, whatever it might be. And you see you see him disintegrate right away. He goes, listen, Israel has a right to defend it. Yeah. Just lay it on. Yeah, I know. It's like, what is that, bro?
It's a system that can't last. It's not going to, I mean, we're already seeing it fall apart. This is what Mamdani was about. I don't even think it's just about Israel, Gaza, although of course people care about that. It's about the fact that in Mamdani's case, he said the thing that lots of people think that nobody else could say. And what does that say about that figure? That his power derives from somewhere different than the rest of the political system does. And that is something that people are interested in, irrespective of what your politics are.
Yeah, and that's what drew people to Trump at the beginning when he was first running in 2015. He's like, I don't take any funding. And then he became the nominee. He's like, fuck, I got to take some funding. But before then, it was fun because he could really say whatever
because no one else could say any of those things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, I think about that Dave Chappelle stand-up from SNL a few years ago where he's like, this motherfucker said, I'm in the room with those people. Like, he walked out of the room that the giant club that you're not in, and said, I'm doing it with them. And people are like, that's gangster.
That's literally what it was. Yeah.
But then it changes. I don't know. This could be the thing, though, because there's just something about like that Nixon line I told you earlier where it's like the foreign policy, that's where you got the power. This is a place now that has everyone's looking at it. And it's like a perfect storm because people can relate it back to the United States because AIPAC is not under FARA and because we're seeing things like them try to pass laws that say you can't say anything bad about Israel or you're going to get fucking deported. Yeah. So people see it here.
Yeah, and not just that. I'm seeing interesting strains where, figures I would not have expected to say this, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I was saying, they have free health care. Why are we funding all this stuff? Why does there need to be billions of dollars in aid going there? And it's like, it's hard to imagine anyone disagreeing with that in the mainstream of America.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.